Part 8. First Marriage Then Love, Mr. Mayor Please Be Kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 72. Chapter 71. The second update arrives, ask for pink, ask for subscription, and reward. Of course I like it, but parents remember to do what you can. Brother, how old was that? How old is Chuxia now? Zhao Qiwei glared at Zhao Qiliang and pulled Chuxia to her side. Chuxia, let's ignore him, he is a person who doesn't reveal his shortcomings and will be completely numb. Comfortable. The fastest update is available on sinovel.com. Qiliang, drink water. Zhao Yulan came in with an enamel jar and handed it to her nephew with a smile. My aunt added 3 spoons of sugar to you, it's sweet. Zhao Qiliang had a black line, little aunt, I'm old enough to drink this. As he said that, he pushed Zhao Yulan's hand towards Chuxia, for the greedy girl. Chuxia didn't answer, I don't like to drink. Zhao Qiliang had a funny look on his face, before you had to put it away, you didn't need me to ask you to grab it and drink it yourself, but now it's better, and you're polite with the big brother, hee, drink it quickly. Are you so greedy that the saliva is about to flow out? Stop pretending, big brother doesn't laugh at you. Chuxia is really speechless. What image does this deity look like in Zhao Qiliang's mind? Too lazy to push back with him, he simply turned around and walked out. I'll go to Aunt Fatty's house to see how the preparations are going, and I'll call you back later. The purpose of Zhao Qiliang's visit today is to let Luo Gangshun's family see each other again. Although the date of the engagement has been fixed, it is better to let the two sides communicate and understand more to be safe. Seeing the figure of the little cousin disappearing outside the door, Zhao Qiliang looked at Zhao Yulan suspiciously. Little aunt, why do I feel like Chuxia has changed as a person? Did something happen to her while I was away? It's nothing. Zhao Yulan told Zhao Qiliang about the change of name and finally said, it's a blessing in disguise. Your little uncle and I never dreamed that Chuxia could become so sensible. The little aunt and the little uncle have good hearts, and of course they have to be rewarded. Zhao Yulan glanced at her nephew angrily, you kid, you can say good things to coax my aunt. I am telling the truth. Okay. Brother, where are you going to compare me? Zhao Qiwei protested, since you called my aunt's house, you kept bragging about it. It hurt me that I couldn't even put in a sentence, and it was too much. Okay, you say. Glancing at the fist that Zhao Qiliang has been clenching, Zhao Qiwei laughed, brother, as long as you are nervous, your mouth will become especially sweet, especially to coax people. Nonsense, I'm telling the truth. How can I coax people? Zhao Qiliang glared at his sister and changed the subject. Little aunt, I've heard about the Shui family, what are you going to do next? Let Chuxia take the university entrance exam. Or in the military. Let's take one step at a time. It is said that the college entrance examination will be resumed, but the certificate must be issued in the commune. How could Shui Ligang easily do what we want? Besides, even if he issued the certificate, when the notice is issued, it will be silent. There is nothing we can do about it. It's also a good idea to be a soldier, but this time, the medical soldiers were not selected because the physical requirements were not so strict. Next time, alas. With a sigh, Zhao Yulan didn't say any more. Zhao Qiliang thought for a while, and said, little aunt, didn't head Zhou come to our side? I'll tell him about it after I go back, and can I ask him to pay attention when I see it? Anyway, we don't ask to go through the back door, we just follow the normal procedure. Although the head of Zhou is not very good-tempered, he is quite upright and doesn't put on airs. Talk to him, maybe it will work. Old troublesome people, how embarrassing, Zhao Yulan said. For us, it's useless to run and break our legs, but for Headmaster Zhou, it's just a matter of one sentence, Auntie, it's settled, I'll tell Headmaster Zhou about this when I go back. Report. Qi Liang, when you were young, you were the one who loved Chuxia the most. Zhao Qiwi protested dissatisfiedly, little ant, do you mean that I don't care about Chuxia? When have you ever heard me? You always think I don't go to work in the fields. Chu Xia stepped in and accused Zhao Qiwi before looking at Zhao Qi Liang, brother, tell me the truth, you treat Zioxian, do you like it? Little girl, what are you talking about? Zhao Qi Liang pointed at her amusingly, if I don't like it, I'll agree to it so happily. Are you a fool to be a big brother? Why does eldest brother like her? Chu Xia continued to investigate. It wasn't that she was meddling with her own business. When she went to Lugo's house just now, Lugo Zioxian was too flustered. Her only friend, she has to think about her happiness, a marriage without love she can't imagine. Just at this moment, Lin Bao he pushed open the door and entered, reaching out to greet Zhao Qi Liang. Qi Liang, let's go to your uncle's house just now. Seeing Zhao Qi Liang get up and go out, Chu Xia quickly blocks in front of him, no, go after you finish. This child. Zhao Yulan stretched out her hand to pull her daughter, don't make trouble with your eldest brother, Xia, you are old enough to be sensible. Chu Xia's face was stubborn, mother, I'm serious, eldest brother must answer me, this is very important. Xia. Zhao Yulan persuaded softly, be obedient, Zioxian has become your sister-in-law, and that is a relative for life. This is better than finding you a sister-in-law who can't touch her temper, right? Zhao Qiwi quickly echoed, yes, Chu Xia, if Zioxian can marry into the Zhao family, Zioxian will treat you better, then there will be one more person who loves you, how wonderful. Khan, how dare her mother and her cousin think she is jealous? Helpless, she had to explain, when it wasn't my sister-in-law, Zioxian was also kind to me. I was afraid that my eldest brother would marry a daughter-in-law just to marry a daughter-in-law. If it was someone else, I wouldn't ask anything, but Zioxian is me. Best friend, I hope she has someone who truly loves her, and only then can she be happy. The little cousin once knew exactly what he was thinking. Therefore, when the little cousin stood in front of him and asked questions, he was extremely embarrassed. Now that he heard this explanation, Zhao Qi Liang's face immediately relaxed. Chu Xia, before you I always take Zioxian to Xiaolin village, and my elder brother knows her well. Her straightforwardness and kindness is what my elder brother likes the most. Chu Xia led the way, okay, we've passed the customs, let's go. Lin Bao he fondly patted his daughter's head and took the lead to walk out. Entering Lugo's courtyard gate, Lugo Gangshun's fat aunt greeted him, followed by a blushing Lugo Zioxian. Seeing each other again after more than a year, Lugo Zioxian's nervous speech is no longer easy. Zhao Qi Liang's performance is not bad, chatting with Lugo Gangshun's fat aunt is very speculative, and the experience of being a soldier for more than a year has made the originally stable Yufa calm. No matter what the topic, can answer it. This meeting made the marriage of the two families completely settled. In the afternoon, Zhao Yulan followed Zhao Qi Liang and Zhao Qiwi back to Xiaolin village, and discussed with the elders about the engagement in 5 days. On the way, Zhao Qi Liang peeked at Zhao Qi Liang and smiled from time to time. Zia, why, what are you laughing at? Zhao Yulan asked suspiciously. Ignoring Zhao Qi Liang's warning eyes, Zhao Qiwi turned her bicycle towards Zhao Yulan and said, Big brother is so nervous that he has torn his palms, he. This child. Zhao Yulan looked at Zhao Qi Liang distressedly, stretch out her hand to show my aunt. Little aunt, listen to her nonsense. Zhao Qi Liang glared at his sister before saying, how can she be so exaggerated? I'm a little nervous, but it's not enough to scratch my palm. Show it to my aunt. Zhao Yulan didn't believe it. Zhao Qiwi suddenly pointed forward, little aunt, isn't that Xueqiaheng, how did he come out of our village? That kid always bullies our family in Chuxia. Zhao Qi Liang heard this, and his feet quickly accelerated, dare to bully my sister, Do you really think our family is easy to bully? I'll go take a look. Zhao Yulong quickly stopped him. Qi Liang, don't pay attention to him, he hasn't been looking for trouble recently. Brother, our father's official was taken down by his father. Seeing that the siblings could not be stopped, Zhao Yulong had to speed up to catch up. Shueqiaheng, Zhao Qi Liang shouted. Not only did Shueqiaheng not stop, but instead accelerated his speed and pushed forward, but his physical strength could not compare with Zhao Qiliang, who had been training in the army for 2 years. After a while, he was blocked by the opponent. Shueqiaheng timidly looked at Zhao Qiliang. In broad daylight, you actually want to rob Daoer? When did the uncle of the People's Liberation Army become a bandit? I'll give it to you, okay. Can the kidnapper call out your name? Zhao Qiliang pointed at him amusingly. I am Lin Chuxia's eldest cousin. I came here to warn you that my sister doesn't like you, so don't mess with her in the future. Shueqiaheng pouted, don't worry, I won't be bothered to mess with her in the future. I don't want a shrew like that for nothing. Who are you calling a shrew? Zhao Qiwi chased after him, stopped the car and gave Shueqiaheng a kick. If you didn't mess with my sister-in-law's family, would they beat you up? Say, did you do this recruitment? Hands and feet. Shueqiaheng snorted coldly, are you suffering from persecution paranoia? The commune has nothing to do with recruiting soldiers. Even if I want to do something, I still have a chance. What did you do in our village? Zhao Qiwi continued to ask. She always felt that something was wrong. Do you care too much? My classmate lives in this village. I went to see him. Can you let me go? Intimidated by Zhao Qiliang's power, Shueqiaheng explained reluctantly. What's your classmate's name? Hey, you woman, are you going too far? Shueqiaheng looked at Zhao Qiliang. Because one more person bullied me, when did the People's Liberation Army become so useless? If you step aside now, this is the end of the matter. Otherwise, let's wait and see. Isn't it just being beaten by you? I admit it, come on, beat it. He was playing rascal. At this time, Zhao Yulong finally caught up. Seeing her, Shueqiaheng was obviously relieved, and a smile appeared on her face. Auntie, don't worry, I won't provoke Chuxia again in the future. I want to understand, strong the melon is not sweet, and in the future, I will never force her again. When she got home at night, Zhao Yulong's face was very ugly. Chuxia and his father Lin Baohe looked at each other, then dragged Zhao Yulong into the back room. Mother, what's wrong with you? Is there something wrong with the marriage? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come, subscription, reward, your support is my biggest motivation. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 73. Chapter 72 Heartless. The first update arrives, ask for pink, ask for a subscription. Nuan has decided, 30 fans will add one update, every 30 fans will be updated 3 times on the same day. Dear friends, if you have fans, please vote. Nuan fights. The marriage did not go wrong / The fastest update is on si$novel.com / Zhao Yulong replied briefly, then lowered her head and stared at the ground in a daze. Seeing this, Lin Baohe quickly comforted, Yulong, don't worry, I'll go and explain to the couple Gang Shun. Zhao Yulong interrupted him, on May 6th, my father, my mother, my eldest brother's family, the second brother's family, and my eldest and second sister all came to Luo's house to get married, and I brought back all the posts. Mother, no matter what it is, tell us about it, Chuxia said. He sighed, shook his head, sighed again, shook his head again, opened his mouth, closed it, and continued to stare at the ground in a daze. Mother, what's so hard to say? Chuxia was anxious. Didn't we agree that everything will be carried by the family together? What's the matter with mother? Is it about Xia being a soldier? Lin Bao, he asked. Nodding her head, Zhao Yulan let out a long sigh and tried to exhale all the turbid air in her heart, so that her facial expression was slightly relieved. We xia, we must let others stand up. How do you say this, Lin Bao? He sat up straight, frowning tightly. I went to my mother's house today, and the second sister was there. When I entered the door, she greeted me. She is my second sister. Even if she is not very kind to me, she is also my second sister. I really didn't expect that you can do something like that to our family, to our family's early summer. Speaking of which, Zhao Yulan couldn't help crying while covering her face. Chu Xia suddenly thought of Zhao Qian's determined look when she was running for election, and her joyous expression when she lost the election. Mother, what do you mean, Qian was selected? Or did the second aunt do it? He patted his forehead. No, the second uncle is the deputy, even Xue Ligang can't handle it, how can the second uncle get involved? Qian just didn't get selected, that's why the trouble started. Your second aunt took Qian to find your grandma and grandfather to preside over justice. When you saw your second aunt was there, she started making trouble with your second aunt. Said that your second aunt had promised them at the time that if you chose Qian but didn't, let Qian replace you. Your second aunt and their mothers also assured you that you will be able to pass, saying that medical soldiers mainly look at cultural classes, look at appearance, and look at figure. Qian's participation in the election is just going through the motions. Your second aunt dares to do this because she thinks that Qian's cultural class is good, and even if she replaces you, she will not be kicked back. I really don't understand, what kind of hatred do I have with her, and she wants to treat our family like this? After all, they are sisters, how could she be like this? What did the second aunt say? Chu Xia felt that something was wrong. The second aunt wasn't so stupid, right? How could she interfere with this kind of thing? Moreover, the relationship between the second aunt and Zhao Qian is also normal. If it is said that she does this for her eldest cousin Wang Meifeng, it makes more sense. Of course your second aunt doesn't admit it, but your second aunt and Qian just insisted that she agreed. Judging from your second aunt's expression, she should have said something like that. Anyway, she was very uncomfortable when she looked at me. Feel free. With a heavy sigh, Zhao Yulan looked disappointed. Your grandfather and your grandfather forced her to tell the truth, but she never said a word. But mother, why do I think this doesn't make sense? Chu Xia expressed her concerns just now. Mother and second aunt grew up together, even if her personality has changed a bit over the years. Mother feels that will she ignore the future of the second uncle and do such a thing for the second aunt? Mother thought about this too, but, your second aunt. After a while, Zhao Yulan continued, your second aunt let your second aunt grab her and scratch her, without arguing. What the hell is going on here? Chu Xia was also puzzled. With the temper of the second aunt, how can there be a master who is wronged? Among the three brothers and sisters of the Zhao family, the uncle Zhao Yushan and the second aunt Zhao Yukui are the best developed. Unlike the aunt's kindness, the second aunt is an absolute snob. Every time she went back to her parents' home during the new year, in addition to seeing Zhao Yushan in her eyes, she was cold and indifferent to other brothers and sisters, including her aunt Zhao Yuiying. Being good to Wang Meifeng is because Wang Meifeng's marriage to a strong family can bring strong support to her second uncle. Otherwise, she would not think of Wang Meifeng for all good things. The Zhao family has 4 girls, Zhao Qiwi, Zhao Qian, Wang Meifeng, and Chuxia. The second aunt chose Wang Meifeng as the object of marriage, and there should be a comprehensive consideration. Zhao Qiwi is straight and honest, and she only has Zhao Yuanbao in her heart. Of course, even if she doesn't have Zhao Yuanbao in her heart, the second aunt will not choose her, and it is difficult to control. Zhao Qian looks okay, but her height is too short. Considering the background of a strong family, it is impossible for her to be attracted to her, so she is also excluded. As for Chu Xia, it is not in her consideration. First, the age is not suitable. Second, the girl she dislikes the most is Zhao Yulan. At a glance. When we met before, she picked Chuxia's thorns more than once, thinking that Zhao Yulan had given Chuxia a crippled support. To sum up, Chuxia was not selected. Then, there is only Wang Meifeng. Her vain and snobbish personality is exactly the same as that of Zhao Yuqi. Moreover, in terms of height and appearance, she is also the best choice. People like Wang Meifeng will not treat anyone selflessly, but when it comes to their own interests, they must be obedient. This is precisely the reason why Zhao Yuqi took a fancy to her. Therefore, even if he really chooses which one he wants to help with all his strength, it will definitely not be Zhao Qian. Among them, there is no benefit to Zhao Yuqi. Is that the female soldier? In Chu Xia's mind, the day of the selection, when she left, the female soldier called her alone, asked her name, and told her to go home and wait for the notification. Is there any purpose in those words? However, for no reason, how could an unknown female soldier do anything to her? The most important thing is, what qualifications does she have to let others do things? That's all. She is really a soldier. I thought that Chu Xia must have been chosen by our family, and I must not know who to vote for. If her second aunt can do this, Xue Ligang can definitely do it. I felt that her second aunt must have never competed with Xue Ligang, so she was unable to give Qian the spot. Sigh, my second sister, after so many years, why bother me so much? Mother, what's wrong with your second aunt? Chu Xia asked after hearing that Zhao Yulan's words had a different meaning. Your second aunt, liked Zhang Yuzheng, but at that time Zhang Yuzheng liked her mother, and your second aunt hated her. You didn't watch all these years, and it was the mother who rushed to talk to her, and she never talked to her? Also, no matter what is delicious and fun, she will never give xia to anyone. Seeing your grandmother and grandfather give you something, she can gouge out her mother with white eyeballs. I can bear all these, but what I can't bear is that she is blocking my daughter's future. No matter whether she can do it this time or not, my mother will have no relatives like her in the future. When Qiliang and Xiaoxian got engaged, she would probably be able to come, but the mother wouldn't pay attention to her, and neither of you two were allowed to pay attention to her. This time, she was the one who did the best. By the way, Bao He, talk to the Gangshun couple about this. Don't let them misunderstand that I am not satisfied with the marriage. I can't say it myself. Zhao Yulan talked ramble, her eyes were a little slack. Obviously, this incident really hurt her. A large military region in Province A. Zhou Hanliang was busy preparing for next week's training plan in the office. The door was suddenly pushed open, and a middle-aged soldier came in with a smile. Instructor Zhou, are you busy? Dean Liang. Zhou Hanliang greeted him in surprise. When did you come back? Why didn't you say hello to me in advance and let me pick you up? You. Liang Xiangyang pointed his finger at him. Your mouth is really coaxing people to death. To be honest, was Xiaoyun tricked by you? Liang Xiangyang said that Xiaoyun was Zhou Hanliang's new girlfriend. Her full name was Jun Daodu. She had long hair, big eyes, and fair skin. That was a pretty one. Haha. Zhou Hanliang smiled and let Liang Xiangyang on the sofa before he said, you're so predictable, otherwise, with my old face, how can people like us? Okay, we can see each other more often in the future. How do you thank me? Thank you as much as you say, it's up to you. Zhou Hanliang smiled ingratiatingly. My happiness in this life is all given by you, Dean Liang. You. Liang Xiangyang pointed at him with a funny look on his face. I'm just wondering, you follow Zhou Tuan every day, why is your temper not affected at all? Zhou Hanliang looked straight and stopped joking. Are those two girls selected? Liang Xiangyang nodded. Then how can I not be selected? The special tricks are given to me, do you dare not choose? However, both of them are good seedlings. In the cultural class exam, Lin Chuxia is the first, Luo Xiaoxian is the fifth, and their physique is come on. Lin Chuxia is a little short, but as long as she is willing to endure hardship, I believe she will pass. That's good. Zhou Hanliang breathed a sigh of relief and lowered his voice again. Don't let the head of the regiment know about this for the time being, and then give him a surprise. Tell me the truth, these two girls. Liang Xiangyang pointed to the side. Which one do you fancy? Zhou Hanliang smiled bitterly. It's not what you think. This special move was not done by the head of the regiment. It was done by the madam without telling everyone. You know how much the madam loves the regiment leader and how worried she is. There was a trace of worry in Liang Xianjiang's eyes. The question is, has Shenji figured it out? Don't get it wrong, how will it end? Zhou Hanliang said calmly, what's wrong with that? In case you get it wrong, it's just a good opportunity for those two children. It's not that they were recruited and raised in vain, they learned the technology, to be a qualified hygienist, who can say anything, right? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe and give a reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 74. Chapter 73, Marriage. 2 more to come. The fastest update is on SI Novel Network. After thinking about it for a while, Liang Xiangyang nodded. Yes, although these two children have special recruitment rights, they are actually selected according to the procedure. No one can pick the wrong place, but can you give your brother a thorough understanding? XINER, does the head of the regiment really mean anything? Zhou Hanliang had a funny look on his face. Dean, are you worrying too much? Good intentions, good intentions. Liang Xiangyang sneered, I'm doing it with good intentions. At the age of the head of the regiment, it's time to have a daughter-in-law. If you have the ability, go and say this in front of the head of the regiment. Then how can that be done? Liang Xiangyang quickly shook his head. Brother, you can't be less loyal. If it wasn't for you as a brother, I wouldn't say this in front of you. Do you think so? Okay, I won't expose your shortcomings in front of the head of the regiment, don't worry. Zhou Hanliang glanced at him with contempt. Could it be that I have such a long tongue in the head of the principal? Isn't it? It's the prevention and the future, huh? Taking a look at the time, Liang Xiangyang sighed. I have to leave quickly. The establishment of such a large mobile hospital is the first in the country, and the chiefs attach great importance to it. Last night a notice was suddenly issued, asking the preparatory staff to go to the general military region for a meeting. I had no choice but to hand over all the home visit work to Xiao Zheng. I rushed back overnight. When I entered the division, I happened to meet the teacher who was out and said hello, and I'll come to you. How about it? It's interesting, right? Interesting enough, interesting enough. Zhou Hanliang frowned. Is it appropriate for Zhengmei to do a home visit by herself? Wouldn't she be unsafe as a girl? Liang Xiangyang waved his hand. Before I left, I said hello to the commune directors of each commune. Whichever commune I arrived at, the commune sent 2 escorts, a man and a woman, to accompany Xiao Zheng's home visit. Don't worry, there will be no safety. Questionable. Johan nodded brightly. That's not too bad. If you are too busy, Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoxian don't have to go there. These 2 children will be fine. Okay, I'll call Xiao Zheng later, so that she doesn't have to go to Dalian village. One less land is one more land. Lao Zhou, thank you. Zhang Xiadi. 18 years old, Xiadianza village, Hunky commune, Yunping county, father, Zhang Aguo, mother, Lian Xiangqui. Shueqingkan, 19 years old, from Suejia village, Hunky Commune, Yunping County, father, Shuela Sheng, mother, Miao Ifang. Luo Xiaoxian, 18 years old, from Dalian Village, Hunky Commune, Yunping County, father, Luo Gangshan, mother, Xiao Shaxiang. Qiaoning Ai, 18 years old, from Yinjiazhuang Village, Hunky Commune, Yunping County, father, Qiao Guanghui, mother, Yunailing. Lin Chuxia, 17 years old, from Xiaoxiazhuang Village, Hunky Commune, Yunping County, father, Lin Weiguo, mother, Zhao Xiangxiang. Sun Shangmei, 19 years old, from Xiaoxiazhuang Village, Hunky Commune, Yunping County, father, Sun Kedong, mother, Lu Aimei. This list is the home address registration materials of the selected members of the Hunky Commune. ZenMaleLead is studying it. Xue Ligong brought in a black and strong man in his early 20s and a wealthy woman in his 20s, Chief Zeng, this is Lu Yuqiang and Yang Xiaowai, who accompany you on your home visit, they are very familiar with the villages in this area. ZenMaleLead got up politely, thank you, Director Xue has been too much trouble during this time. Xue Ligong waved his hands again and again, it's not troublesome, this is what it should be, and our Hunky Commune can't fall behind others. ZenMaleLead turned to Lu Yuqiang and Yang Xiaowai, it's 7:30, shall we go? Yes, the two of them answered in unison, standing upright with their legs together. ZenMaleLead laughed, don't be so polite, I still need your help. I'm not familiar with the villages in this area. If I go by myself, I'll really get lost. It is our honor to be able to help Chief Zeng, Lu Yuqiang said. Yang Xiaowai did not want to lag behind, it is our honor to work with Chief Zeng. This flattery, the corner of ZenMaleLead's mouth twitched indiscernibly, she thanked Xue Ligong again, and took the lead in walking out. Look at the list, in what order will you save time? Lu Yuqiang took the list and looked at it for a while, then said, first go to Suejia village, then Xiadianza village, then Yinjiazhuang village, Dalian village, and finally Xiaoxiazhuang village, so you can definitely turn around in one day. ZenMaleLead nodded, okay, just do as you say. The three of them had just pushed their bicycles out of the door when Xue Ligong came over panting, Chief Zeng, wait a minute. ZenMaleLead turned her head and looked at him in confusion, what else is there? Director Liang just called and said that you don't have to go to Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoxiang's house. Why? Headmaster Liang said that he understands the situation of these two families, so he doesn't need to go. Director Xue, what's wrong with you? ZenMaleLead looked at Xue Ligong, who was suddenly stunned, wondering what he was saying and seemed to be frightened. No. Nothing. Xue Ligong quickly wiped the sweat from his forehead and smiled with a wrinkled face, just now, it hurts, he. ZenMaleLead laughed, why are you running so fast? Even if we leave, the big deal is to run 2 more, okay, we will decide according to the actual situation, whether to go to Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoxiang's house. Hey. Xue Ligong replied woodenly, not feeling a little sluggish. ZenMaleLead thought he was still a little uncomfortable, so she smiled and said, Director Xue, go back and rest, we'll set off now. Xue Ligong hurriedly said, the journey is safe. Thank you. ZenMaleLead smiled and looked at Lu Yuqiang and Yang Xiaowai, let's go. Lu Yuqiang's excited facial muscles trembled slightly and smiled at Xue Ligong, Director, we're going, don't worry, with us leading the way, Chief Zeng will definitely be safe. Xue Ligong smiled and waved at a few people, go back early, and let the cafeteria cook something delicious for you in the evening. Seeing the disappearance of ZenMaleLead and the others, Xue Ligong hurriedly returned to the office, explained his work, and then rode his bicycle out of the commune compound. The Luo family was full of joy. At 9:19 in the morning, the Zhao family and others entered the Luo family's compound with a dowry gift. Blessed is this child, Meiying. Looking at this style, you must give such gifts. Is this marriage still a good thing? Yes, yes, Meiying is valued by her in-laws. If only the in-laws my daughter was looking for could take her so seriously. You can dream, such a good family is not easy to find. There were 4 oval bamboo baskets covered with red cloth, 2 square food boxes, and a brand new bicycle. The people who came to watch the fun couldn't help but talk about the red gifts in the yard. After the chat between the two parties, the male guest was arranged in the east room, and the female guest was arranged in the west room, and the fat aunt took Zhao Yulan to the east room. Yulan, it's just a marriage, how did you buy so many things? And the bicycle, I didn't have it. Why did you buy it when you got married? That's my father's and my mother's wishes. They said that they would be satisfied if they could find a good daughter-in-law like Xiaoxian. That's what they gave to their grandson's daughter-in-law, so you must accept it? After hesitating for a while, Aunt Fatty said, Yulan, we are willing to marry this family, and what we are looking for is the character of the Zhao family. Everyone here thinks that there are fewer dowry gifts for girls, and they will not be valued when they go to their husband's family. But let's not talk so much, we will accept the engagement, but when we get married, we don't want the gift money, as long as the Zhao family's banquet is ready. Okay, I'm not happy if you like it. How could such a good girl marry Qi Liang as a daughter-in-law? Zhao Yulan said angrily, my eldest brother and sister-in-law have a son like Qi Liang, how can't handle it well? Don't worry about that, they will do what they can. Are you two hiding here and whispering? Zhao Yuqi walked in with a smile. Zhao Yulan turned around and walked out without looking at her. Little sister, Zhao Yuqi grabbed her, do you really think what the second sister-in-law said is true? Do you really think that I asked Qian to replace Chu Xia? Zhao Yulan didn't say a word, but the expression on her face showed that she felt that way. Seeing this, Aunt Fatty hurriedly said, you two sisters are talking slowly. I'll go outside to see if the people who help with the cooking are here. This matter can't be missed. Zhao Yuqi smiled at the fat aunt, and pulled Zhao Yulan tightly in her hand. Little sister, do you think the second sister has that ability? Even if I don't like you again, I won't use this method to retaliate, right? Zhao Yulan looked at her, since you didn't do it, what did you explain? I don't think this is right, really. Zhao Yuqi frowned, yes, I did something that I'm sorry for, but not this one. Originally, I didn't want to tell you, but the more I think about it these days, the more I feel that something is wrong, so I decided to take this opportunity to tell you the truth. The eldest sister's family, Mai Feng's teacher quota, should be in early summer. I gave it to Mai Feng at my own discretion. Your brother-in-law scolded me after knowing this. However, the rice has become porridge, so the matter is settled. The second sister-in-law did not know where she got the news, so she threatened me. If I didn't follow her wishes, she would tell you about it, so. Zhao Yulan looked inexplicable, why did the second brother-in-law make Chu Xia a teacher? Didn't Bao He tell you? He asked your brother-in-law to ask you when he returned home during the Chinese New Year. I always thought you knew that, Yulan, it's my fault, but. Zhao Yulan snorted coldly, but you're not willing to let our family's early summer get your light, right? Yes, Zhao Yuqi nodded, but this time when I was a soldier, I really didn't do it. Even if I wanted to do it, I didn't have the ability. Little girl, you can understand this after a little thought. Right. I see. Zhao Yulan nodded. Little sister. Zhao Yulan frowned and looked at her, what else do you want to say? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe and give a reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 75. Chapter 74, Purple. One more to come. / left bracket. The fastest update is in 4 novel network // Seeing that Zhao Yuqi was silent for a long time, Zhao Yulan lifted her foot and walked out. Yulan, we are sisters. Zhao Yuqi hurriedly held her back. The corners of Zhao Yulan's lips evoked a sarcastic smile. Sister? How have you treated me all these years? I called you second sister, but I never dared to really take you as second sister. For the sake of Qi Liang's face and the reputation of our mother and father, let's stop making trouble. Okay. Zhao Yuqi's eyes were full of boredom. This is a naked threat. That is to say, if she doesn't follow her today, when she gets married in early summer, she will also make her unhappy. This is her second sister. As long as something goes against her, she will not hesitate to stab people in the heart. For my daughter, I don't even want to die. Zhao Yulan stared at Zhao Yuqi with a solemn expression. I will do what I say. You. Unexpectedly, the always submissive little girl would say such cruel words. Zhao Yuqi stood there with her mouth open. I'm not trying to scare you, Zhao Yulan repeated word by word. For my daughter, I really don't even want to die. Zhao Yuqi had never seen such a little girl before. In her impression, the little girl was a wretch, married a jerk, gave birth to a daughter, and was a jerk. Therefore, brother and sister five among the people, the one she despised the most was the little sister. Because of this, she couldn't accept the fact that Zhang Yuzheng liked the little sister and didn't like her. Why? He liked her as smart as she is, not as beautiful as her beautiful useless. As a result, this hatred is 20 years. Are you relieved so far? No. The answer is yes, this matter will be a thorn in her throat forever. So in this life, she can't really get close to the little sister. Mrs. Zhao pushed open the door and walked in. She looked at the little girl who looked like a cockfighting cock, and then looked at the second girl with a gloomy face and a dazed face, and immediately got angry. What day is today? Can you save me worry? Mother. Zhao Yulan had tears in her eyes. Seeing that she couldn't speak anymore, Zhao Yuqi sneered. What are you pretending to be? Are you the one who said harsh words? How old do you think you are? What else would you do other than sue your mother to oppress me? Shut up for me, Mrs. Zhao shouted, looking at the faces of her two daughters. I don't care if any of you have any grievances, I will wait until today. Anyone who dares to be overjoyed here. If you can't find happiness in your life, don't call my mother again in the future. Mother, the little sister believed what the second sister-in-law said and ignored me. I was worried that outsiders would gossip, so I asked her to discuss it. I don't know. The old lady Zhao interrupted her. Okay, mother doesn't want to hear this. You too, even if you pretend to be a family today, can you guarantee me? Yes, Zhao Yuqi said quickly. Although she was full of grievances, today is indeed not the time to hold her breath. In desperation, Zhao Yulan had no choice but to nod her head reluctantly. Yes. You said it yourself, let's go. Zhao Yuqi smiled and grabbed the old lady's arm. Mother, I'll help you. I'm not that old yet. If you have this mind, be nice to your little sister. The old lady Zhao's tone was full of helplessness. After all these years, do you know what your little sister is? Temperament. Why can't you tell the difference between good and bad? Mother. The smile on Zhao Yuqi's face faded. When you were young, you favored her. Sometimes I wonder if I am your own. If I paused, shook her head, and Mrs. Zhao said, forget it, I'm not biased, I'll talk about it after today. Now, let me go out with a smile. As soon as a few people left the door, a wealthy old lady greeted her with a smile. My dear old lady, I'm looking for you everywhere, come and come, let's have a good chat. Mrs. Zhao took a few steps in a hurry and held her hand affectionately. Hello, old lady-in-law, we haven't seen each other for many years, you are still so young, hee hee. Little sister, is this Xiaoxian's grandma? Zhao Yuqi asked Zhao Yulan affectionately. The cold touch gave Zhao Yulan goosebumps all over her body. She pulled her hand out in a conditioned reflex, but did not pull out, then smiled and introduced Zhao Yukui and Mrs. Luo. In the eyes of outsiders, the sisters are still very affectionate. There were too many guests, and the room could not be opened, and the tables were all propped up in the yard. The weather in May was warm, and it was more comfortable for everyone to sit in the yard. Old, middle-aged, youth, teenagers, people of all ages were looking for people of all ages, and they had a great time chatting. For a time, the yard was full of people and it was very lively. The Luo family's banquet was very rich. The dishes were served one after another, but everyone's eyes unconsciously glanced at the table. One by one, they were chatting a little, and the yard was immediately quiet. In this era, materials are extremely scarce. Even for the new year, a family will cut 2 or 3 catties of meat and make dumplings to satisfy their cravings. How can chickens, ducks, and fish be served in dishes like this? Of course, the host understood the guests' thoughts, and the dishes were about the same. Luo Xiaoqiang's grandfather Luo Dashan and Luo Xiaoqiang's grandmother Luo Liashi led the men's table and the women's table to move the chopsticks respectively. In the kitchen, Aunt Fatty, Zhao Yulan, and the 2 daughters-in-law who came to help were busy with their hands and feet. Occasionally, they glanced outside to see how happy everyone was eating, and they were in a particularly good mood. After a while of busy work, Zhao Yulan had already forgotten the unpleasantness between her and Zhao Yukui, and the fat aunt deliberately led her to talk about some happy things. When the dishes were almost done, the smile on Zhao Yulan's face was already full of expressions. From the heart. This meal is the most hearty meal I have eaten in this era in early summer. The cousins of the Luo family and the cousins of the Zhao family sat at the table by the east wall, with Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoqiang accompanying them. When young girls are together, it is inevitable that there will be some comparisons. Compared with other tables, this table is the most undercurrent. Well, not only the undercurrent is surging, but Zhao Qian, the cousin of Chuxia, is directly surging. She was originally disliked by Chuxia, but after this incident, she became even more disliked when she saw Chuxia. She feels that in terms of looks, she is stronger than Chuxia, in terms of work, she is stronger than Chuxia, and in terms of study, she is still stronger than Chuxia. The only thing that is worse than Chuxia is her height. To be a soldier? Although it didn't work out, that's how it was originally. She has already opened the shame-covering step, and her attitude towards Chuxia is not generally bad. From the appearance, to what to eat, to how much to eat, there is nothing that she can't fault. If she wanted to put her normal life aside, Luo Xiaoqiang had already gone into battle to find a place for Chuxia, but today is the big day for her engagement. Her mother has told her no less than 10 times that she should endure everything first, and then talk about it later. There is no way. She had to endure it first, and as a result, after a meal, she didn't eat much, and she was full of anger. Chuxia, if I want such a cousin, I can really strangle her. When she got the chance, she whispered in Chuxia's ear. Knowing that Luo Xiaoqiang thought her temper was too soft, Chuxia smiled and said nothing. Luo Xiaoqiang's cousin Luo Lixiang looked at the other girls with a smile. Don't look at me as Meiying's cousin, but the place in Meiying's heart is less than 1/3 of Chuxia's. Meiying and Chuxia are more lovable than brothers and sisters. Eldest sister, aren't you and Zhong Hongying the same relative? Luo Xiaoqiang replied quickly. After holding back for a long time, she was not so polite to her cousin. Luo Lixiang's face was a little unnatural. She knew that the second uncle's family didn't like Zhong Hongying very much, but she was unlucky. She and Zhong Hongying were the best friends. Of course, she knew that her younger cousin had opinions on her. Yes, but what can she do? Calmly, Luo Lixiang changed the subject. Wang Meifeng, among our classmates, you are the most promising. You are a teacher and you are going to marry a cotter. In the future, if I have something to ask for, you can't pretend that you don't know me. How can you not know each other? As long as you have an old classmate like me in your eyes, it's too late for me to be happy. How dare you not know me? Wang Meifeng smiled reservedly. Zhao Qian curled her lips. Where is she the most promising? Without my second aunt, where would she be? I don't deny that I am where I am today with the help of my second aunt. However, if my own strength is not enough, my second aunt can't help. This, Qian, you should feel the most, right? Okay, one less thing to say. Zhao Qiwi frowned. When will you two be unable to understand the situation? Although the two were dissatisfied with each other, Zhao Qiwi's character was theirs, so they both kept silent with reluctance. By the way, Chu Xia, how is your marriage? Luo Lixiang asked Chu Xia, seemingly unintentionally. Chu Xia looked up at her. How about what? Of course it's about you marrying into the Shui family. Luo Lixiang smiled. The unmarried girls in the village are all greedy. If you don't hurry up, be careful of being robbed by others. Chu Xia fixedly looked at her. Are you greedy? Me? Luo Lixiang pointed to her nose and smiled. Is it useful for me to be greedy? People don't like me. Yes, Chu Xia nodded indifferently. It's useless for you to be greedy. Luo Lixiang was half opened by Chu Xia's words, and she didn't catch her breath for a long time. Deserving it, Luo Xiaoxian mumbled softly, quietly grabbing Chu Xia's hand and pinching it. It should be like this. Why do you always let others? Really fighting? Isn't she still there? This cousin of hers is the most rapacious. If she can take the opportunity to beat her up, she will be very happy. Is Comrade Luo Xiaoxian at home? Along with the questioning, a man and two women entered the yard. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe and give a reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. First marriage then love. Mr. Mayor, please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 76. Chapter 75, revealing the stuffing. 4 pink. 2 more to come. / left bracket. The fastest update is on the 4 novels network / Seeing the appearance of the person who came, Luo Xiaoxian's nervous calf was shivering. She was pinched and pushed hard by Chu Xia before she realized it and quickly got up and ran over in 3 or 2 steps. Hello, Captain Zheng. Hello, Comrade Luo Xiaoxian. ZhenMaleLead smiled at her. Your house is very lively today. I didn't plan to come here, but the first few were very smooth, so I just turned over. Have you eaten yet? After asking this sentence, Luo Xiaoxian wanted to slap her mouth, but fortunately, Zhao Qiliang came over in time to relieve her. Second Lieutenant Zheng, hello. Zhao Qiliang, ZhenMaleLead blinked suspiciously. Why are you here? By the way, didn't you ask for leave to go home to get married? Could it be? Pointing at Luo Xiaoxian, ZhenMaleLead looked incredulous. Zhao Qiliang smiled a little embarrassedly. Captain Zheng, today is the day Xiaoxian and I get married. Sit down for a drink at the happy bar, and Xiaoxian and I will accompany you for the rest of the home visit. ZhenMaleLead responded happily. Okay, it's better to come sooner rather than later. I'll sit down and drink a wedding wine before leaving. After watching, Lu Yuqiang and Yang Xiaowai, who stood silently behind her, said, what do you think? Lu Yuqiang hurriedly said, everything is subject to the arrangement of Chief Zheng. After speaking, he rubbed Yang Xiaowai, who had been in a daze since he came in, with his elbow. What's wrong? Yang Xiaowai asked in a conditioned reflex. Director Zheng said he would have a wedding here before leaving. Oh, Yang Xiaowai nodded again and smiled apologetically at ZhenMaleLead. I was just calculating where the next family will go, how long it will take, and when I can go back in the evening. ZhenMaleLead took out 10 caddies of food stamps and handed them to Zhao Qiliang. Send it to your mother-in-law. If she doesn't accept it, we won't keep it. After hearing the news, the fat ant who was standing on the side and couldn't talk hurriedly stepped forward. Mr. Zheng, You can't be so polite, this kind of happy event, one more person to celebrate, the children will have more luck, how can you do it again? I'll take your food stamps. As he spoke, he grabbed the food stamps from Zhao Qiliang and stuffed them into Zhenmei's hands. Comrade Zheng, our family's red flag is also in the army. From this aspect, you and he are also comrades in arms. Come to the comrade in arms house for a drink, how can you talk like this? Luo Gangshun is worthy of being a team recorder. What he said was obviously a level higher, although he was also a little incoherent with excitement. Sister, let's go over and say hello, Chu Xia said while pulling Zhao Qiwei to get up. After all, they all went to run for election, so it's appropriate to say hello at this time. The most important thing is that she has always had doubts in her heart. Since the other party has brought her to the door, of course she has to come over and make a bright appearance. It was not the right time if she didn't pass just now. Today's host is Luo Zioxian. Before she and Zhao Qiwei were near, her second aunt had already pulled Zhao Qian over. Captain Zheng, do you still remember our Qian? Remember? Zhenmei smiled. Xiao Zhao's cultural achievements are good. That's right. That's right. Lin Xiaohua's facial muscles were shivering with excitement, and she pulled Zhao Qian closer to Zhenmei. Zhao Qiliang smiled apologetically at Luo Zioxian and lowered his voice. She's just so temperamental, don't worry about it. I know. Luo Zioxian tapped her chin to Zhao Qian's feet and lowered her voice. The problem is, she didn't wear stilt shoes today. The corners of Zhao Qiliang's mouth twitched, seeing Qiwei and Chuxia standing beside him at some point, and said, didn't you two also go to the selection? Come and say hello. Chuxia. Luo Zioxian looked apologetic. When I panicked and got excited, I forgot about you. Then she whispered a few words in her ear, and Chuxia nodded with a smile. At this moment, Zhenmei, who was terribly annoyed by Lin Xiaohua, caught sight of Chuxia and waved in surprise. Lin Chuxia, you're here too, just in time, I'll save the errands, let's do your 2 home visits together. By the way, are your parents here too? Although she had expected it, she was suddenly verified. Chuxia was still a little confused. She tapped her nose. Captain Zheng means, I'm also selected? The notice has been sent out, and you ask me something like this? Zhenmei shook her head amusingly. If you don't go to your village to give you a home visit, you will become so unconfident. Well, she was really replaced. In an instant, Chuxia had mixed feelings. In this era of cheating people, there is no need to bully her like this. Zheng, Comrade Zheng, you mean, our family is also, like Zioxian, can go to the army? Zhao Yulan, who came over at some point, looked excited, lips trembling. He finally finished a sentence. Zhenmei smiled and nodded. Yes, you are Chuxia's mother, right? Yes, I'm Chuxia's mother, Comrade Zheng. Our family. Chuxia didn't receive the notice. Zhao Yulan said these words very neatly. No way, is this girl in Chuxia being bullied? That should be the case. You said that after this, do we ordinary people still have a way to live? Yeah, it's fortunate that we met, otherwise, wouldn't it be worth it? This child is fortunate. It is a great blessing to be able to break through at this time. That's right, early summer is quite blessed. Blessed are Baohe and Yulan, and a good heart will be rewarded. At this time, the guests of the village and all the elders and juniors of the Zhao family also gathered around and started to talk about it. Listening to the discussion, Zhenmei frowned tightly, took out the receipt, and pointed to the signature on it. The words on it are not signed by you. Chuxia took it over and took a look, and immediately realized that it was no wonder Zhenmei said just now, if you don't give you a home visit in your village, you have become so unconfident. At that time, she just thought about being replaced, and she didn't react. Daring, the other party replaced her with another girl with the same name. If she didn't meet by chance today, would she really be replaced by a confused one? By the way, when ZenMaleLead entered the door, she said that she didn't plan to visit Ludo Xiaoxiang's house. Chuxia broke out in a cold sweat. It was too dangerous. This address is not mine. Are there two Lin Chuxia candidates? 2. ZenMaleLead shook her head. Only one of you is named Lin Chuxia. I remember this very clearly, and I can't make a mistake. She had already realized what was wrong. The other party must have used the time when she and Liang Xiangyang were not in the office to steal Lin Chuxia's information. Therefore, even though the enlistment notice sent out at the end was sealed, it would still be fake. The information inside was originally fake. The nature of this matter is too bad. Especially, when he was exposed in front of so many people, will the common people still believe him and them in the future? ZenMaleLead turned to look for Lu Yuqiang and Yang Xiaowai, but found that the two had been squeezed to somewhere unknown, so she had to suppress the anger in her heart and smiled at Chuxia. Lin Chuxia, I will give you justice for this matter. Thank you, Captain Zeng. ZenMaleLead looked at Ludo Gangshun and Aunt Fat apologetically. Uncle Ludo, Aunt Ludo, I won't eat today's wedding wine. Now, I must go back and find out. I have to check things, and I have to eat dinner, the fat aunt said while pulling her to the main table. Eating a meal? You won't waste a few minutes. Chuxia is like my own daughter. You can still be fair to Chuxia. It is the benefactor of our two families. You have to eat this meal today, no matter what. Ludo Gang casually said, that's right, today is a double happiness. It's important to find out who did the wrong, but it's more important not to let the one who did the wrong succeed. Comrade Zeng, Lin Bao he finally squeezed in, and knelt down with a thump, and ZenMaleLead, in a panic, hurriedly pulled him up. You are Chuxia's father, don't do this, it's our fault, don't do this at this time. She knew who could make such a move without even thinking about it. I have written down your great kindness to us in the early summer. When this bad guy wants to do something bad, no matter how careful you are, it will be hard to prevent. This is thanks to you. Although he is excited, Lin Bao he is rare. No hijab. The matter has come to this point, and Chuxia's selection has already been decided. Mr. Zhao, MRS Zhao and MRS Zhao Yishan's couple, Zhao Yuiying, also squeezed over to express their gratitude to ZenMaleLead, which made ZenMaleLead even more embarrassed. Originally, Lin Chuxia and Ludo Xiaoxiang were special recruits, but now that I think about it, she was also in a cold sweat. If today she obeyed Liang Xianjiang's instructions and did not visit Ludo Xiaoxiang and Lin Chuxia's home, then the day when the truth was revealed. That is, after the recruits arrive at the recruit company. What a big joke this will be. This hunky commune is too rampant. If she hadn't known what Lin Chuxia looked like, she might have been fooled. Thinking of this, she couldn't stay any longer. However, she knew very well that if she wanted to find out about this matter, it would probably take a while, and if that person dared to do this, he was naturally well prepared. Therefore, the next thing she needs to do is to report to the top, and send someone to come and check this matter out with her. The impact of this matter is really bad. If it is not handled well, it will be difficult to get the approval of the common people in the future, no matter how fair the conscription is. They cannot be sinners in the army. Squad leader Zhao, I'm going to trouble you for help for the time being. Now she can only trust Zhao Qiliang, and in desperation, she has no choice but to ask the other party for help. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe and give a reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 77. Chapter 76. As soon as the update arrives, the next chapter will have more words. / left bracket. The fastest update is all in 4 novel network / ZenMaleLead knew that Liang Xiangyang went to the General Military Region for a meeting, and she called Zhou Hanliang directly. This conscription trip was brought about by Zhou Hanliang. Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoqing's special recruitment quotas were also given to her by him. Therefore, without thinking about it, she called Zhou Hanliang. After listening to ZenMaleLead explain the replacement incident in detail on the phone, Zhou Hanliang felt angry and funny. Do these people really think they are fools? If he hadn't told Liang Xiangyang and ZenMaleLead not to expose the special recruits of Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoqing, these lawless guys wouldn't have this chance, right? Unlike ZenMaleLead's anger, he felt that it was better for this kind of thing to happen earlier than later, which also sounded the alarm for them. No matter how hard it is, when you go out, you must take the conscription materials with you, and don't give the other party the slightest chance to play tricks. It seems that this time he has to do it himself. Master, I need to take a few days off. Zhou Hanliang gave Su Zhenghong a detailed report on what happened in the Hunky commune. Big brother and sister-in-law are really in a hurry. Su Zhenghong frowned tightly. What I'm worried about now is that if the third child finds out, the conflict between the elder brother and the third child will deepen. Then what should I do? Dean Liang went to the meeting, and there was no suitable person to come. Zhou Hanliang heard Su Zhenghong say this, and also realized that what he thought was too simple. The expansion of the hospital this time was planned by Zhou Mikang. However, taking advantage of the opportunity that he was sent to the capital to study, Zhou Jingping and his wife quietly did this. What bothers him most is that his family uses their power for their own personal gain. Without the special moves of Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoqing, or Zhou Mikang would not think so, but now, they are indeed guessing the holy wool. When he comes back, the registration will be finished. Besides, Lin Chuxia and Luo Xiaoqing are qualified according to the normal selection. After a pause, Su Zhenghong waved his hand. Go, let's finish things first, then pick 4 soldiers and bring them with you. If you are not afraid of 10,000, just in case. You don't need to bring people, master, you think too much about their courage. Zhou Hanliang couldn't help laughing. If you really dare to attack me, unless they are impatient. Yes, Su Zhenghong shook his head amusingly. I'm too much of a soldier, but you should bring another assistant, Xiao Wang. This kid has a good brain and a good skill, so he's prepared. Okay, this time, Zhou Hanliang did not refuse. Chief Zeng. While ZenMaleLead and Zhao Qiliang were researching the direction of the investigation in the office, Xue Ligong pushed the door and came in, followed by Lin Xiahua and Zhao Qiliang. Second aunt, Qian. Zhao Qiliang stood up in surprise, and looked at the mother and daughter. Some of them couldn't understand what class they were coming for at this time. Xue Ligong said first, Chief Zeng, Qiliang, Comrade Lin Xiahua and Comrade Zhao Qian came to report it. They went to my place first, and I brought them here. Please take a seat. ZenMaleLead pointed to the 2 stools placed by the wall, and nodded to Lin Xiahua and Zhao Qian. Chief Zeng. Lin Xiahua said, looking at Zhao Qiliang nervously, Qiliang, if I report someone's actions, won't I have to go to jail? Jail? Zhao Qiliang frowned. Second aunt, please be more clear. Director Xue, thank you for bringing my second aunt and Qian here. You're welcome. You are busy, you are busy. Xue Ligong could no longer stand there pretending to be confused, and had to leave. Lin Baohe and Zhao Yulan felt that these days, they were full of strength, and their life was suddenly rushed. Although they are reluctant to part with their daughter, the loss in the heart of the couple will be much lessened when they think that their daughter will have a good future in the future. My daughter told them more than once that when she was in the army, she would work hard, and one day, she would pick them up. Of course, there are a lot of people talking sour words in the village. After all, Xuxia was originally a negative teaching material used by most people in the village to educate their children. She was lazy, greedy, ignorant, weak, and not good looking. This, I have reservations. But it is such a negative teaching material. He is going to be a soldier. He is still a very promising medical soldier. In a family with a daughter, the sour water gushed out. My daughter is so good, why didn't Lin Chuxia have the chance? There are also rumors that Luo Gangshun's family helped Luo Gangshun to go to the back door for Lin Chuxia to be a soldier, so that she and Luo Xiaoxian would go to the army to find Luo Hunky. The ultimate goal, of course, is to marry Luo Hunky. Because of this rumor, Aunt Joan even scolded on the street for half the morning. The implication was that Chu Xia was a vixen, shameless, and ran the army to rob her daughter of the man. Lin Baohe, who got the news, was about to beat her with a stick, but was held back by Zhao Yulan. Humans, that's how it is. On the day of the engagement, when the replacement incident was exposed, many people felt that early summer was a blessing, and they felt that their good couple would be rewarded. But when I think about it another day, jealousy has the upper hand, and rumors, naturally, will not turn to them again. Even if I go to beat Aunt Joan, what can I do? Then let her be silly, Lin Baohe said bitterly. If she wants to, she'll be fine. When she enlists in the army in early summer, and waits for the people watching the jokes to not see it, it will stop, and she doesn't have a deep hatred with us, so how can she hold on to it and not let it go? Thinking about the same thing, Lin Baohe gave up the idea of having the same knowledge as Aunt Joan. However, even if there are these episodes, it will not affect the happy mood of the couple. Of course, the Luo Gangshun family are also happy. It would be a lie to say that Aunt Fatty and Luo Gangshun did not have the intention of reuniting Chu Xia and Luo Hunky. There is a care. After lunch that day, Chu Xia was sitting under a pear tree with Zhao Yulan and Lin Baohe chatting, when the courtyard door was pushed open, and a woman stumbled in. Second sister. Second aunt. After looking at it for a while, Chu Xia's family recognized that this woman with messy hair and gray and white face was Zhao Yukui. Little sister, save your brother-in-law. After saying those words, Zhao Yukui's legs softened, and she fell to the ground with a thud. Second sister. Zhao Yulan hurriedly helped her up. What happened? What happened to my brother-in-law? Did you come here? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come. Subscription, reward, your support is my biggest motivation. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 78. Chapter 77 Help. The second update is here. Sorry, I can't figure it out. If something happens, it's unlucky, so I won't say it. It will be 8,000 words tomorrow, for sure. / left bracket. The fastest update is on the 4 Novels Network / Although I didn't have a good impression of Zhao Yukui, at this moment, it was not the time to care about her, so Chu Xia went into the house and poured water and handed it to her. After half a cup of water, Zhao Yukui finally regained her strength and grabbed Zhao Yulan's arm, but her eyes were fixed on Lin Baohe. Yulan, Baohe, you believe in the second sister, right? How should Zhao Yulan and Lin Baohe answer such a sentence without beginning and end? Staring at Zhao Yukui with a troubled expression, the couple didn't say a word. Little sister, we are sisters of the same mother. Interrupting Zhao Yukui, who wanted to continue playing the family card, Zhao Yulan said, second sister, let's talk about it directly, okay? Second sister-in-law, she's really not human. She led Qian to file a complaint, saying that it was your brother-in-law and I who replaced Chu Xia. At this moment, your brother-in-law has already been arrested. Yulan, Baohe, your brother-in-law. You're wronged, he doesn't know anything, besides, he has always disagreed with me treating you like that. How could he help me harm Chu Xia, don't you think? Although it was not detailed enough, the general idea was understood by the Chuxia family. Lin Xiahua took Zhao Qian to the commune to sue Zhang. Now, Zhang has been arrested? How do you arrest him? Chu Xia interjected and asked. She felt a little weird. Zheng Meili was not confused. How could she arrest Zhang just based on the words of Lin Xiahua and Zhao Qian? Xue Ligong took the people from the militia company and locked your uncle in. If he didn't get the news and ran quickly, the second aunt would have been arrested right now. Xia, your second uncle really loves you. My Feng's teacher quota was made by him. The hands and feet were made by the second aunt, and it has nothing to do with your second uncle. He knew that I had done tricks, so he almost beat me. Xia, second aunt knows that you are a good boy, don't hold the second aunt's revenge, save your second uncle, okay. Chu Xia looked puzzled. Second aunt, are you in a hurry? Is there any way I can save the second uncle? Your father hurts you the most. As long as you say a word, your father will definitely be able to help the second aunt. Zhao Yuqi stared at Lin Baohe, last time you asked your brother-in-law, he agreed so happily, the fault is all on the second sister, save your brother-in-law, the second sister is begging you. Looking at Zhao Yuqi, who was snot and tearful, Lin Baohe was at a loss. Second sister, how can I have that ability? You have, as long as you are willing, you will be able to save your brother-in-law. Doesn't the old man in your village always feel that he owes you? Just ask him, and this matter will definitely be solved. The two soldiers who came to his house last time are from the same army as the one who is recruiting now. As long as they help to say a few words, it's not a problem at all. It turned out that she played the spectrum, and she was quite well informed. Second aunt, isn't the eldest brother with Captain Zheng, why don't you go and beg him? Chu Xia asked in confusion. Ah, Zhao Yuqi was stunned, then got up, why did I forget him? I'll find him right now. Yes, Qi Liang must have a way. After running 2 steps, she quickly turned around and pulled Lin Baohe out. Pulling, Baohe, you go and ask Laoji to call the head of the army, I'll go to Qi Liang, and try to rescue your brother-in-law as soon as possible. Chu Xia couldn't help interrupting her. Second aunt, who did you hear that the second uncle was arrested? Mr. Song from the school. I went to the commune to get the materials and saw it with my own eyes. Zhao Yulan's tears flowed down again. Xue Ligong also kicked your uncle. He was avenging private revenge, and I don't know where he got the news, saying if your uncle is going to push him, he will see your uncle as disgusting. If that's the case, Captain Zheng and the eldest brother are definitely not here. For a moment, Zhao Yuqi stared at Chu Xia woodenly. Mr. Song doesn't know them, so he didn't say whether they were there or not. Alas, Chu Xia sighed with a look of helplessness. If Big Brother was here, how could Xue Ligong kick my second uncle? Second aunt, you didn't understand anything, so you ran back and asked my father to find Grandpa Dagong. As for Xue Ligong, he can kill your uncle immediately if he gets the chance. If the second aunt doesn't run quickly, she will definitely be arrested and put on trial with your second uncle. Teacher Song heard that Xue Ligong had arranged for someone to arrest me, and he ran back to school to report me without the materials. His father was fighting to death for criticism. If it weren't for your second uncle, he wouldn't be a teacher. Otherwise, he would. Why are you in such a hurry to report to me? After realizing which era it was, Chu Xia closed his mouth and didn't say any more. After seeing a lot of people who were criticized to death for no reason, how could Zhao Yuqi not be afraid? At this moment, she also understood why Zhao Yuqi made herself so embarrassed. I believe that along the way, she was running and worried that Xue Ligong's people would catch her. No matter how much the second aunt resented the joy she had for Zhang Yu's hung, now she is her second uncle. Otherwise, there is no need to worry. Like this? Or, people only know how to cherish when they are faced with loss. No matter what happened to Zhao Yuqi in the past, Zhang was really good to their family. When he met them in Xiaolin village before, he never looked down on them. Therefore, Lin Baohe raised his feet and ran to Chen Fenggang's house. Second sister, I'll accompany you. Zhao Yulan was afraid that something might happen to Zhao Yukui on the road, so she followed her out, and told her, Xia, take a good look at the door at home, don't open the door when anyone comes, and wait for the parents to come back. Chu Xia shook her head amusingly. When Zhao Yulan came back from Xiaolin village a few days ago, she expressed her determination to cut off ties with Zhao Yukui. Now, look, how can there be any more? It was not until evening that Zhao Yulan and Lin Baohe came home. Chu Xia hurriedly poured boiled water for the two of them, and then served the long-heated meals. Father, mother, are you tired? Eat first, it's still hot. There was no phone in the village, and Lin Baohe and Chen Fenggang went to the commune to make a call together, so it was not surprising that the father and mother came back together in early summer. Alas, with a heavy sigh, Zhao Yulan shook her head. Mother can't eat it, Xia, let's eat it with your father. Eat, Lin Baohe glared at his wife, even if there is something big, you can't lose your stomach. You're starving, what should we do? It was rare for her husband to get angry, so Zhao Yulan obediently picked up the chopsticks. Your second aunt, it's not an exaggeration. Suddenly, Zhao Yulan said such a sentence. Originally, I wanted to wait until my parents finished eating, but now I see Zhao Yulan like this, if she doesn't finish her sentence, she won't be able to eat at all, so Chu Xia simply put down her chopsticks. Mother, my uncle was really beaten. There's no one else, Zhao Yulan sobbed. When I went with your second aunt, Chief Zheng, and the others had already gotten the news and rushed over. Otherwise, your second uncle might just. How could Xue Ligang be so bold? Chu Xia looked surprised. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe and give a reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 79. Chapter 78. See you again. With your second aunt and Qian as testimony, how dare Xue Ligang dare to attack? With a heavy sigh, Zhao Yulan wiped the corners of her eyes. Your second uncle is too stubborn, Chiang Junja reported to him. Not only did he not run away, and went to meet Xue Ligang, saying that Xue Ligang couldn't hold the shit bowl, which is good, your second aunt really wants to give him a shit bowl every day. One thing that is obviously very sad, when Zhao Yulan said this, she was overjoyed. Chu Xia held back a smile and comforted her. Mother, second uncle, this crime will not be in vain. The fastest update is exhausted in $4 Novell net. Well, listening to what Chief Zheng said, I will definitely give him justice. Zhao Yulan frowned. How could your second aunt do such a cruel thing? Does she think she is the old Zhao family? People. Since the second aunt did not do this, the second aunt must have been instructed, in fact. After a pause, Chu Xia said, we can roughly guess who did it. Mother, don't worry, Xue Ligang, this time there is absolutely no escape. Lin Baohe echoed, Xia is right, this is the party's world, how can he be such a black and white person who always gets away with it? Sighing continuously, Zhao Yulan didn't say a word. Mother. Chu Xia put chopsticks in her hand, eat a little bit, even for me, mother can't help but cherish her body. Zhao Yulan nodded, mother eats, Xia also eats. The family finished the meal in silence. Chu Xia quickly put away the chopsticks and bowls. Just as they were about to brush them, Zhao Yulan pulled her aside, go and talk to your father. Mother, I won't smash the bowl, Chu Xia hurriedly said. Talk with your father. Zhao Yulan insisted that there was only enough bowl left for one hand, and if he smashed another one, it would be hard to eat with his hands. Chu Xia quietly stuck out her tongue, where did she do housework before? As a result, after 3 brushes and 4 smashes, Zhao Yulan dared to use her. Songshui County Hospital. Looking at Zhang, who was pinned to the bed, Zhou Hanliang's face was gloomy and terrifying. ZenMaleLead and Zhao Quiliang standing behind him were too frightened to come out. "Sir, you have to be the master of our family, no matter whether we did this or not, there is always a process of investigation. How can you come up and beat him to death?" Zhao Yuqi cried and complained while sitting beside the bed. "You." Zhou Hanliang glanced back at ZenMaleLead, and then retracted his words later. "I really can't blame ZenMaleLead for this. She just came here to recruit soldiers. How could she have thought of encountering such a disgusting thing? Besides, ZenMaleLead is only a middle-level leader of the Military District Health Center. Investigation and handling of cases is not her strength at all. As for Zhao Quiliang, she is only a small squad leader. Where does her experience in this area come from?" These two got together, and the unhappy Lin Ziahua and Zhao Qian collided. Regardless of whether Zhang did this or not, people shouldn't be beaten up like this. In what age did they even use torture to extract confessions? Moreover, that is simply a dead hand. 2 ribs were fractured, and the spleen was contused and lacerated. Isn't this a life-threatening style of play? "Qi Liang, stare here." Zhou Hanliang said a few words to Zhao Yuqi before leaving the hospital with Wang Lei and ZenMaleLead who were with him. "Second aunt, go and lie down for a while, I'll watch here." Zhao Yuqi had not closed her eyes since she was transferred to the hospital last night. Zhao Qiliang was afraid that she would be overwhelmed, so she sent her to rest. "It's all right, I want to guard your uncle, he won't be able to see me when he wakes up, he'll be anxious." Zhao Yuqi sniffed. "Qiliang, Xiaoqing still doesn't know about your uncle, can I trouble you to go back? Pick him up? In case." Zhao Qiliang interrupted her. "Second aunt, there is no emergency, the doctor said everything, there is no fatal injury on the uncle, and there will be no life-threatening." "I'm worried." "Second aunt, you are too tired, go to rest, hurry up." Zhao Qiliang pushed Zhao Yuqi, "If you don't rest well, it's easy to overthink things. Didn't the little aunt and the little uncle agreed yesterday, and brought Xiaoqing here this morning? Maybe when you wake up, the little aunt and the others arrived, and the second uncle also woke up. But I don't." Zhao Yuqi froze there for a while. Zhao Qiliang looked up, and saw a 45 or 6-year-old man with a fair complexion and black-rimmed glasses standing at the door with 2 middle-aged men and women. With a faint smile, the signature fake smile. "I'll take a look at the comrade." The man smiled at Zhao Yuqi and stepped forward. "Who are you?" Zhao Qiliang asked suspiciously. A middle-aged man who followed behind the man quickly introduced, "Comrade Zhang Yuzheng, the secretary of the county party committee of Songshui County." Seeing the lover of her dream again, Zhao Yuqi froze there with a bang. She hadn't seen her for more than 20 years. She recognized who she was with just one look, but she looked like she didn't know him anymore. "She is." Zhao Yuqi stood in the back woodenly, listening to Zhang Yuzheng asking the doctor some questions symbolically. "Second aunt." Zhao Quiliang gently pulled her. Zhao Yuqi came back to her senses, and saw Zhang Yuzheng looking at her with a smile. "Comrade Yuqi, thank you for your hard work." "Zhang Yuzheng, it's been 20 years, do you still know me?" Uncontrollably, Zhao Yuqi asked what she was thinking. Staring at Zhao Yuqi and frowning for a while, Zhang Yuzheng looked puzzled. "Who are you?" "Zhao Yuqi." Zhang Yuzheng was still at a loss. "Zhao Yulan's sister." Oh. Zhang Yueshan's voice was slightly warmer. "So it's you, I haven't seen each other for so many years, and I don't know each other, he, I didn't expect that you are the wife of a comrade is a good comrade, I believe that he will never do such a thing, Comrade Yuqi, don't worry." Zhang Yuzheng, who spoke Mandarin and smirked, dangled in front of Zhao Yuqi's eyes. Suddenly, she felt so ironic that for a man who didn't remember her, she hated her little sister for 20 years. That's ridiculous. It turned out that she had always been deceiving herself. No matter whether she had a younger sister or not, Jang Yuzhong would never like her. Otherwise, she would never have been able to recognize her after hearing her name. She is so stupid. When her parents told her this before, she never believed it. She always felt that her parents were partial to the younger sister and spoke to the younger sister on purpose, but it turned out that she had been living in her own imagination. Looking at Zhao Yuqi, who was in a trance, Zhang Yueshan's eyes flickered. It's not that she didn't have any impression of this woman, but, in front of so many people, how could he admit that he knew her in front of so many people? If it wasn't for Zhao Yulan going to the county to find his name, and being beaten by his wife Che Zili, he would not have admitted that he knew Zhao Yulan just now. However, after so many years, Zhao Yuqi, who was originally inconspicuous, has become more attractive than Zhao Yulan. With that figure, that temperament, he is not a man who has never seen a woman, but he treats him so infatuously for 20 years. A young woman makes it impossible for him not to be a little smug in his heart. Comrade Yuqi, if you have any difficulties, just go to the county to find me. When I went to the countryside, you helped me a lot. Now, it's time for me to report back, Zhang Yuzhong said, writing a note and handing it to Zhao Yuqi. Zhao Yuqi's face turned red when she felt the finger digging in the palm of her hand. She lowered her head to cover it up. Second aunt, is he the culprit who caused you and the little aunt to break up? Zhao Qiliang couldn't help asking when Zhang Yuzhong was sent away. Yeah, Zhao Yuqi nodded, her heart suddenly calmed down. Yes, this is the main culprit that caused her and the little sister to lose peace, but when we meet again in 20 years, no matter whether he still remembers her, he didn't even dare to admit that he knew her, and he did those shameful actions behind his back, which was enough to show that he was not a good person. Thanks to her being so old, she is still disturbed and disturbed by her. Or, this is the unforgettable first love, or, in other words, this is what you can't get is the best. At around 11 in the morning, Lin Baohe and Zhao Yulan took Lin Chuxia and Zhang Xiaoqing to the county hospital. Seeing that his father was injured like that, Zhang Xiaoqing clenched his fists tightly with red eyes. Shui Li Gong, your grandma's. Xiaoqing, Zhao Yuqi shouted, and hugged her son again, hugging her tightly, her head resting on her son's neck, and sobbing softly. Before everyone was paying attention, Zhao Qiliang tugged at Chu Xia's sleeve. Big brother, what's the matter? Chu Xia asked suspiciously after walking out the door. Her mood was still in shock. Although she heard her parents say that the second uncle was seriously injured, she still couldn't accept it when she saw it with her own eyes. You didn't let your grandma and the others know, did you? No, Chu Xia shook his head. How about just a few of us? Even the uncle and aunt didn't dare to inform him if they would be tempted, but it won't take long for the news to pass. Zhao Qiliang sighed, it doesn't matter if the second uncle can move in the next few days. If they come to see it at this time, I'm afraid they won't be able to bear it. By the way, brother, if you have anything to say, just say it. Seeing Zhao Qiliang hesitating, looking like he was hesitating to speak, Chu Xia asked. Do you know why the second aunt and the younger aunt have a bad relationship? Zhao Qiliang asked tentatively. I know. Chu Xia nodded. He came here just now. Zhao Qiliang told Chu Xia about Zhao Yueshan's visit in detail. I'm worried that if he comes over again, my aunt will meet you, Xia, you will be later. Just ask my aunt and my uncle to take you home. Okay. Chu Xia nodded in response. In order not to see the disgusting man, or to provoke mother's sadness, it doesn't matter if she is an ignorant child. Originally, she was not a sensible child, but Zhao Yulan and Lin Baohe treated her so well that she had to be sensible. In that room, Zhao Yuqi's treatment of Zhao Yulan was really different from before. It was obvious that her approach to her sister was from the bottom of her heart, not like yesterday. She was earnest because she asked for it. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe and give a reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. First Marriage Then Love, Mr. Mayor Please Be Kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 80. Chapter 79. The second chapter arrives. / left bracket The fastest updates are all on siandnovel.com // Coincidentally, when Chu Xia dragged Zhao Yulan and Lin Baohe away, he met Zhang Yuzheng, who had a net bag in his hand, which contained canned sugar and snacks. Zhang Yuzheng didn't expect to meet Zhao Yulan here, and raised the things in his hand with an unnatural expression. "I'll come and see comrade." "Didn't you just come here?" Chu Xia asked bluntly. After what happened last time, she didn't have the slightest good impression of the parent officer. "I went to buy some things again and brought them here during lunch," Zhang Yuzheng said, and handed the things to Zhao Yulan. "I still have a meeting, so I won't go in." Zhao Yulan took a step back and moved away. "Second sister, there are guests." In fact, Zhao Yuqi had heard Zhang Yueshen's voice a long time ago, but she didn't think about how to deal with it, so she didn't come over. After being called out by Zhao Yulan, she had no choice but to step forward and smile at Zhang Yuzheng. "Thank you Zhang Ji for your kindness, we can't afford it." Zhao Yulan, who had been hanging her head in a daze, looked at Zhao Yuqi in surprise. The second sister, who has been struggling for so many years, can talk to Zhang Yuzheng with such an attitude? The smile on Zhang Yueshen's face remained the same. "Yuqi, I am the leader of the boss. I am also very sad to see him hurt like this. It is really not easy for the grassroots cotters. This is a little bit of my heart. You can, it must be accepted." "Need not." Before Zhao Yuqi could finish speaking, Zhang Yuzheng put down his net bag, turned around and left. "I'm almost there, I'll come see comrade another day." Chu Xia couldn't help but lean into Zhao Yulan's ear. "Mom, don't you think it's awkward for him to talk about comrade?" Zhao Yulan looked around reflexively, and when she saw no one else was around, she breathed a sigh of relief and stared. The daughter glanced at her and signaled her not to make any more trouble. "All plants and trees are soldiers." Curling her lips, Chu Xia looked at Zhao Qiliang, implying that what you were worried about has already happened. "Should we leave?" "Sister-in-law, uncle, Joe guides them to come over later. Why don't you wait a little later and take his car back?" Zhao Qiliang said casually. "We came by bike." "I'm afraid I can't take the car, but I'm here, so let's stay a little longer." Chu Xia, "Okay." Although Lin Baohe didn't talk much, he wasn't stupid. He already realized that his daughter's unreasonable pestering to go back just now was to let his wife avoid Zhang Yuzheng. Now, Yuta has already met, so there is no way to avoid it necessary. Chu Xia nodded cheerfully. "Okay, then let's sit for a while." At this moment, how could Zhao Yulan not understand? He reached out and stroked his daughter's head. His eyes were full of relief. The girl knew that she was thinking of her mother. Looking at the tacit interaction of the family of three, Zhao Yuqi looked puzzled. "Is there anything I don't know?" "Second sister." Zhao Yulan didn't hide anything from her, and told about how she came to beg Zhang Yuzheng a few days ago and was beaten up by Jiang's wife indiscriminately. "Yulan, I'm sorry." Zhao Yuqi felt even more guilty. "Okay, second sister, don't say I'm sorry. We will get along well in the future. Father and mother will be happy." "Yes, father and mother must be happy." Zhao Yuqi glanced at his son lying on the bedside to wipe Zhang Qiuqing's hands, then at Chu Xia, and suggested, "Why don't we get married?" "No. No." Chu Xia and Zhang Xiaoqing vetoed it with one voice. "Why not?" Zhao Yuqi looked at her son amusedly. "Didn't you praise Chu Xia in front of your mother all day long, and think that your mother is not good to Chu Xia? This will make you marry her as a wife. Why can't you?" Zhang Xiaoqing pursed his lips and said, "I praised Chu Xia to make my mother treat my sister-in-law's family better, but I didn't plan to marry Chu Xia as a daughter-in-law. It's not like you don't know that if close relatives get married, they are planning to harm grandparents' no offspring. Even if you don't give birth to a fool, Chu Xia doesn't like you. Zhao Kuliang joked with a smile, you are as thin as a stick, and you don't feel safe by your side. Brother, don't be complacent. When I graduate from high school, I will also join the army. I will go to the army and then go to the military academy. At that time, I will definitely be better than you in physical training, and I will be better than you in the official position. Do you believe it or not? I'm ambitious, I'll wait. Everyone was chatting and laughing, which actually diluted the sadness a lot. Frightened by Zhou Hanliang and Zheng Meili, Lin Xiahua and Zhao Qian confessed everything. It was Xue Ligong who found them first and asked Zhao Qian to inspect the soldiers. Of course, Xue Ligong didn't promise to let Zhao Qian pass the test, but he agreed, as long as this time things are done as he said, the mother and daughter will benefit. If the replacement is not exposed, but Zhang is blackmailed, then Zhao Qian can go to the commune primary school to be a private teacher. If the matter of replacement is exposed and the mother and wife are covered up, the Xue family will marry Zhao Qian as their daughter-in-law. This thing is so tempting. Whether it is a teacher or the daughter-in-law of the director of the commune, it is a great thing that the two mothers are looking forward to. They hit it off and reached an agreement. Why did Xue Ligong choose these girls? This is still from the last blind date. Although the Xue family rejected Zhao Qian immediately, the greed of the mother and daughter left a deep impression on Xue Ligong. Such a person, for the sake of profit, would be betrayed by anyone, including him, Xue Ligong, but why did he still choose the mother and daughter? In his opinion, when the matter is exposed, his plan will come to an end, and it makes no difference whether he sells or not. This time, he was in a desperate situation because he already knew that the higher authorities were investigating him, and he already knew that the wind direction was about to change. With the things he did, this was the only way out, so he took the risk. His purpose was to kill Zhang and make him his scapegoat. Otherwise, how could he find Zhang so quickly? It's not that he didn't want a cup of poison to kill Zhang, but the follow-up treatment was too troublesome, and he was worried that he might not be able to handle it, so he still used hard punishment. It's just that he didn't expect Zhang's fate to be so big that he couldn't get it right. After the interrogation was over and everything became clear, Zhou Hanliang asked what he was most confused about. Why must Lin Chuxia be chosen? Is it because she refused to be your wife? After a few days, Xue Ligong aged 7 or 8 years old, and his temples were already gray. He covered his face with his hands and looked up. This is the worst thing I did. If I knew, forget it. How could there be so many people in the world who knew it earlier? If I really want to say I knew it earlier, it should be said that I knew it a long time ago, and this day will come. The Emperor of Earth was so used to it that he forgot who owned the land under his feet. When Xue Ligong fell, Xue Qiahong's university quota was also cancelled. That Shru Wangmaihua ran to Chu Xia's house wailing, refusing to leave. Luo Gangshun had no choice but to drag her away. As for his wife and children, Xue Ligong was very interesting. He didn't involve his wife and children in the slightest when he did so many immoral things. Therefore, Xue Qiahong and Wang Maihua will not be subject to other sanctions except that they will not be honored by Xue Ligong and their family property will be confiscated. If it weren't for the issue of recruiting soldiers, Zhou Hanliang and Zheng Meili would not be able to intervene in the local case. If the case has reached this level, the rest is a matter for the local police. Before leaving, Zhou Hanliang and Zheng Meili specially came to Dalian village to meet Mr. Chen Fenggang and had dinner at Luo Gangshun's house. Seeing each other again, Zhou Hanliang looked at Chu Xia with ridicule in his eyes. Little Chu Xia, the food stamps are very useful. Look at this little face, it is obvious that there is meat. How much food stamps do I have to pay for today's meal? Look at it. From now on, you are my leader. Don't dare to speak indiscriminately. If you give me small shoes, how can I live? Jo Han Liang has a good personality. Talking to him, Chu Xia felt very comfortable, so he didn't so it's 800. Jo Han Liang smiled and looked at Zhao Qi Liang, squad leader Zhao. The last time team leader Joe and I were slaughtered by this girl with a bag of dumplings for 70 caddies of food coupons, do you think she is ruthless? Cough. 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 Zhao Qi Liang, the quasi-son-in-law of the Luo family who was drinking water, almost choked to death. How could his weak little cousin be so cruel? But thinking about the character of the little cousin before, it is really possible to do such a thing. Based on the principle that good friends should bear the blessings and misfortunes together, Luo Xiaoxian hurriedly said, I didn't take the food stamps in Chuxia, so give me half of them. Cough. 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 Zhao Qi Liang choked again. Jo Han Liang glared at him, you are promising, you have already done both of these things, you just listen, why are you so surprised? Zhenmei said with a smile, Lin Chuxia, do you know that even if it doesn't happen this time, you will be remembered by us too. When Jo Han Liang rushed to talk, Zhenmei understood, smiled, and nodded immediately, yes, you will also be remembered by us. Why? Luo Xiaoxian looked puzzled, looking Chu Xia up and down, could it be because Chu Xia looks so good looking? Jo Han Liang and Zhenmei have black lines, they are not beauty pageants. However, in order not to put psychological pressure on the two of them, the matter of the special recruitment quota cannot be disclosed to them, Jo Han Liang said with a smile, that's not true, after Captain Zheng returns, we will definitely put the matter of Lin Chuxia's murder tell her, you said, how can it not be remembered by us? Chu Xia could feel that the other party was hiding something, but since he didn't want to say it, she couldn't rush to ask about it. She likes the result that everyone is happy with now, and she doesn't want to change anything. The day for recruits to report is May 28th. Before leaving, Chu Xia's family went to her aunt's house and grandma's house respectively. Lin Baojuan has fully recovered. Although her relationship with her mother-in-law is still not good, she is in good health and capable, and her uncle is protecting her, so she won't it's too worrying. On grandma's side, the uncle's family is naturally good, and grandma and grandfather also took Chu Xia to wipe their tears, thinking that the eldest granddaughter has finally survived. As for the second uncle, there wasn't even a single one showing his head. The second uncle felt ashamed to see them. Lin Xiahua and Zhao Qian didn't want to see them at all. Because of their meritorious service in reporting, Shui Ligang, the local public security agency only detained the mother and daughter for half a month. They had just been back for a few days, and I was not sure how much I hated Chu Xia's family in my heart. Compared with the enthusiasm on Chu Xia's grandma's side, Chu Xia's grandma's side is in a completely different situation. The uncle's family, because Mr. Lin and Mrs. Lin moved into their house, regarded Lin Baohe's family as a thorn in their side, and wished that early summer would soon be unlucky. How could they come to congratulate? Lu Miking saw that God said outside that the recruiter must be blind, otherwise, why would he choose that wimpy Chu Xia? Those who didn't know, thought she was not Chu Xia's sister-in-law, but Chu Xia's big enemy. As for the uncle's family, because of the relationship between the old man and the old lady, the relationship has also weakened. Except for Chu Chiu who came to say congratulations, no one else even showed their faces. Looking at the whole village, apart from Luo Gangshan's family and Chen Fenggang's family, the other families all disdained Chu Xia's going to serve in the army. Most people in the village felt that within a month, Chu Xia would definitely be sent home. With her small body, she can't even do a farm job, so she's going to be a soldier? Heh. This was disdainful. That's right, if someone like Lin Chuxia can be a soldier, then my daughter can be an officer. This is acetic acid. He has a capable second uncle, don't we have one? This is jealous, and now Zhang is the leader of the hunky commune, so the beating is worth it? What, It's because Grandpa Dagong was guilty of Beohi and tried his best to help him, but if he used his strength, whether he can keep it depends on himself, and she is the only one. This is unconvinced. The family turned a blind eye to all kinds of discussions, and did not listen to them. When they went to work in the field, Chu Xia still followed Lin Beohi and Zhao Yulan, and when they were nearby, they also followed behind their parents. When it was time to say goodbye, she suddenly felt that she had such deep feelings for this pair of cheap parents. As long as she thought of leaving them, her heart would be sour. Now that the stumbling block of Xue Ligong is gone, she has the idea of going to the university, but after thinking about it, the prospect of being a medical soldier and then going to the university is by no means less than that of going to the university directly, so she should cherish this opportunity. One day, the whole family was chatting in the yard, and 3 unexpected guests came. Aunt Joan brought them again. What a coincidence. A man in his 40s or 50s, wearing green cloth pants, black cloth jacket, disheveled hair, a silly smile. His facial features are very vague, the kind you can't remember for a long time type. A woman in her 40s or 50s, also in green cloth pants, black cloth jacket, messy hair, delicate facial features, shy smile with a hint of timidity. A girl in her 20s still wears green cloth trousers and a black cloth jacket, with 2 big thick braids hanging down her chest in a streamlined fashion. Her appearance is roughly similar to that of a woman. Obviously, this is a family of 3. You, Zhao Yulan asked suspiciously. Her uncle and aunt, we didn't do it on purpose, our family Chu Xia really didn't know, she named your family Chu Xia's name. Got it, this is another early summer to replace early summer. Seeing this girl whose name was exactly the same as her own, Chu Xia was puzzled. What did they all come here for? Is it possible to let her give up the spot and give it to them? Cough, I blame her for thinking wildly, but I really can't think of any other reason. In the end, Chu Xia's family finally understood that after the news of imposters spread, the family was scolded by the villagers, saying that they were Xue Ligong's lackeys, and they had gained a lot of benefits by following Xue Ligong. Why do you want their daughter to serve as a soldier instead of others? This family is honest people. Coincidentally, the daughter's name is exactly the same as Lin Chuxia. They didn't even see the notice. They were scolded like this by others. Do you think they are wronged? Later, someone with a heart showed them a clear way, came to Genshin's house to apologize, and asked the newly appointed director Zhang to say a few words, and the life of the family might be easier, so they came. Did no one say anything to you before? Chu Xia asked. Yes, yes. The family of 3 looked at each other, a little hesitant. At this time, you still want to hide it for the other party? Chu Xia wondered in his heart, could there be a fish that slipped through the net? If this is the case, Zhou Hanliang's case is unqualified. Father, mother, let me tell. Long-braided Lin Chuxia looked at Chuxia's family seriously. Yang Ziawai, the clerk of the commune, is a girl from our village. She went to our house last time when she went back to her mother's house, and said that if someone came to recruit soldiers, let me don't sign up. She said that if she signed up, she would definitely not be selected, and if she didn't sign up, she might be selected, but when she asked her what was going on, she didn't say anything. He also said that if he didn't listen to her and signed up, he would definitely be the first to be dismissed. She is a capable person in our village. My father and my mother are honest people. How dare I come against her will? I am an unmarried girl, it is not easy to go against her, that's all. Confused, it became what it is today. This Xue Ligong really took a lot of thought. Instead of using someone close to his own family to replace him, instead he found such a person who had no relatives or reason and did not know him at all. Obviously, he wanted to be foolproof, but unfortunately. Originally, Chu Xia's family hated the replacement, but after seeing each other like this, it was really hard to hate the family of 3. Lin Beohi was a kind-hearted person, so he immediately took his family of 3 to the commune to look for Zhang. After all, Lin Chuxia's family was also considered a victim, so it made sense to help. Mom, I still don't understand why Xue Ligong did such a flawed thing. After Lin Bao he left with his family, Chu Xia asked Zhao Yulan suspiciously. She had been thinking about it for the past few days. Or, it's not so easy to guess him, is it? He is the same as your second aunt. Didn't your second aunt hate your mother for 20 years because of inexplicable feelings? He always misses his mother before he gets married. Later, when his son found out the truth, he tried every means I want to be this marriage. It's just that, during that time, the higher UPS began to investigate him, and your second uncle threatened him again. There was no way, he took that risky move. You just said by Uncle Shun that even if he didn't do this, he would have been arrested during this period of time. He just figured it out, so he went all out. Love can't be the most harmful thing. Chu Xia couldn't help muttering. She didn't know what kind of relationship she would end up with in this life. Next chapter, Enlistment. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to subscribe and reward. Your support is my biggest motivation. First marriage then love, Mr. Mayor please be kind. Author, Zhao Nuan. Chapter 81. Chapter 80. As soon as it arrives, I would like to thank Paris Fashion, Garfield 81 and Tang Swexun for their rewards. / left bracket. The fastest updates are all in sinovel.com / Zhao Yulan didn't hear what her daughter muttered, so she leaned forward. What did Xia say? I said it's right for mother and father to be together. Feeling a bit inconsistent with what I heard just now, Zhao Yulan looked at her daughter suspiciously. Is that what you said just now? Yes. Seeing her daughter's answer without hesitation, Zhao Yulan smiled and said, yes, mother and your father are considered to be the right choice. Xia, you are also a big girl. When it comes to choosing a son-in-law, you have to wink rather than be kind. Character, don't be rich. Chu Xia didn't hesitate, and nodded happily. I know. Hey. With a faint sigh, Zhao Yulan moved to her daughter, stretched out her hand to hold her in her arms. Father and mother are not around, you have to learn to take care of yourself. I heard that training as a soldier is very tiring. If you can't hold on anymore, go home, and your parents won't feel ashamed. The daughter answered so happily. Zhao Yulan hurriedly added, of course, as long as you can hold on, don't come back, you'll have a great future in the army. Seeing that her daughter was so docile and obedient, Zhao Yulan continued her efforts. Your body is no better than others. When you go to the army, others compete for the top. We will not compete. If your body breaks down, it will be your own fault. But Xia, let's not compete for the top, and try not to hang around. Mom hopes that you will have a good future in peace. And although he felt it was funny in his heart, Chu Xia still happily responded. Zhao Yulan couldn't help laughing. Look at what mother said, I'm afraid you'll be tired, and I'm afraid you won't make progress. Hey. Mother. I understand what you mean, don't worry, this opportunity doesn't come easily, I will cherish it. Training, how can you not be tired? As long as it is within the range of my body, I will definitely be able to sustain it. As for the matter of competing for the top or not, I didn't think about it, but it's useless to think about it. With my physique, it's beyond my capabilities to compete with others. Don't worry, mother, I'm not that competitive. Strong competitive heart. Mother and father don't miss me all the time when they are at home. Xiaoxian is with me, and my eldest cousin is also there. If there is anything, they will take care of me. I don't know how many times I have repeated these instructions. Chu Xia knows that when she goes out for the first time, her parents are more worried than her, and she can't wait to go on her behalf. Therefore, she will cooperate with their nagging every time. Attach to them and reassure them. It was almost evening when Lin Baohe came back. He accompanied Zhang to send the family of 3 back to the village, and went to the brigade to explain to the loudspeakers before returning. Hey, that family is also poor. Lin Baohe described in detail to his wife and daughter what he saw in Xiaoxia's Wang village. That Lin Chuxia's grandfather was paralyzed on the Kong, and there were 4 half-grown children lined up one by one in the family who could eat but not work. Life was more difficult than theirs. Zhao Yulan couldn't help but sigh, if that girl really beats our family's early summer, she can pull up that family. In other words, what Xue Ligong did is not so hateful. Impossible. Lin Baohe waved his hand. Second brother-in-law said that Xue Ligong just wanted to use the name and file of Lin Chuxia in Xiaoxia Chuang. It is 5 or 6 points similar to the Chuxia that replaced our family, but you really have to look at the photos, it's hard to tell the difference. This Xue Ligong is too vicious. If he dares to use other people's children as a shield, he deserves to end up today, Zhao Yulan said bitterly. Let me just say, Xue Ligong is willing to let a girl he doesn't know get so much glory. It turns out that there is such a way. Chuxia couldn't help but folded his palms. Thank God, he can no longer cause harm to the world. Lin Chuxia. Hearing this voice, Chuxia froze. God, she was hallucinating, right? Lin Chuxia. Zhao Yulan frowned. His father has received that retribution, and he still thinks about doing evil. As she spoke, she walked out of the gate angrily. As expected, Xue Qiuheng was pushing a bicycle and standing at the door. Why are you still howling? I want to meet Chuxia. What's the point? Zhao Yulan snorted coldly. You think that we won't know you did what happened to Auntie Chuxia's matter? Why do you dare to come here at this time? Seeing Chuxia come out, Xue Qiuheng's eyes lit up. Chuxia. Chuxia stared at him coldly. Do you still want to continue forcing marriage? No, no, Xue Qiuheng waved his hands again and again. I heard that you are going to serve in the army, so I just came to see you off in advance, and I don't know when we will meet next time. Chuxia interrupted him. It's over, you can go. While speaking, he took a few glances at Xue Qiuheng. He was in a good state of mind, and his clothes were still clean and tidy. It seemed that his father really didn't bother him much. I know that your family hates me very much. I also admit that I did a little too much, but Chuxia, your sister-in-law was really not beaten by me, let alone someone else. I can swear to God. When I was angry, you thought I did it, and I didn't bother to explain. At that time, I thought, since you don't believe me, let you misunderstand me. Anyway, you can't do anything to me. What's the big deal? Thinking about it now, I'm really naive, Chuxia, I really like you, otherwise, I wouldn't do such ridiculous things. Chuxia interrupted him again. Don't tell me this, it sounds disgusting to me. If you don't go, I'll break your leg. Seeing Lin Baohe standing at the door holding a big stick, Xue Qiuheng shrank her neck unconsciously. Okay, I'll go, but Lin Chuxia, I won't just give up like this. When I am qualified to marry you, I will marry you. Come again. Crazy, Chuxia was so angry that he picked up a piece of dirt and threw it at him. I have seen shameless people, but I have never seen such shameless people. They have reached this stage, and they are still talking nonsense with their eyes open. Hee hee. Mrs. Joan came out from the corner of the alley with a half smile. Uncle and aunt, you really raised a good daughter, and you will definitely marry a good family in the future. Zhao Yulan also answered her with a half smile. I dare not say whether I will marry a good man or not. Anyway, I will not sell my daughter as a commodity like some people. Who sold your daughter as a commodity? Explain to me. Aunt Zhong jumped up. Zhao Yulan, don't get too excited, you'll be happy when you become a soldier. Let someone chase you back and lie to you when you cry in your arms, let's see who is more miserable. Just take care of your own family affairs, don't come to my house to get angry. Chu Xia glared at Mrs. Zhong, and pulled Zhao Yulan into the yard. Mother, don't you think you'll dirty your mouth when you talk to this kind of person? Hey, you little girl, how do you talk? Lin Baohe threw the shovel into the ground, and Aunt Zhong, who was rushing straight forward, slammed on the brakes and glared at Lin Baohe bitterly. If you have the ability, try to beat me up. As soon as Lin Baohe took a step forward, Mrs. Zhong ran away. I'm too lazy to know people like you. Father, why is she so afraid of you? I remember the last time I was in the field, Aunt Zhong was also very afraid of her father, so Chu Xia asked suspiciously. Beat her once, remember, Lin Baohe said briefly. Chu Xia had no choice but to turn her attention to Zhao Yulan. When you were 6 years old, Mrs. Zhong was washing clothes on the edge of the bay. The clothes floated in the middle of the bay. She didn't dare to fish them herself, so she found a pole for you to drag and fish for her. I just pushed you a step. Let your father see it, and beat her up. Speaking of this, Zhao Yulan still had an angry expression on her face. If your father hadn't looked for you, what would have happened? She is just a black-hearted, with only oneself in his heart. Lin Baohe's anger was almost all because of her. Chu Xia had a sore nose and hugged Lin Baohe's arm. Father, when I'm not at home, take good care of your mother, take good care of yourself, and when I am capable, I will take you to enjoy the blessings. Well, Dad is waiting. Father, if anyone dares to bully you in the future, don't give in. If you are like Mrs. Zhong, you can beat him up. Well, Dad knows. Father, when I get the allowance, I'll send it back, and first replace the windows of our house. No, you keep the flowers for yourself, and father and mother can earn this time. Lin Baohe didn't follow his daughter's words. In the past, my father and mother raised me, and of course I will honor them in the future. Chu Xia smiled and dragged her parents' hands into her own, and held them together. I'm not at home, you should be more affectionate, don't fight. This kid. Zhao Yulan pulled her hands out uncomfortably. It's time to cook, you two chatting. Mother is shy. Hee. Lin Baohe smiled naively, staring into his daughter's eyes full of reluctance. For this selection, 6 people were selected from Hongqi Commune, Hongguan Commune, Hongyang Commune, Hongxia Commune, and Hongfeng Commune in Songshui County, and a total of 30 people went to the military area of Province A. In the early morning of May 28, Chu Xia and Luo Xiaoxian, accompanied by Lin Baohe and Luo Gangshun, took the tractor of Hongqi Commune to Songshui County. Liang Xiangyang and Zheng Meili were recruited in Songshui County. Putting on military uniforms and big red flowers, the difference between the 30 female soldiers became much smaller. When she saw her daughter's smiling face in the green crowd, Zhao Yulan turned her back and wiped it off. Wipe the corners of your eyes. Although Chu Xia is smiling, her eye sockets are also red. Although he hasn't traveled far yet, his concern for his parents has already begun. Father, mother, eat well and don't save a penny. Father, mother, I will write to you. At this time, Lin Baohe and Zhao Yulan couldn't say anything except for fear that if they spoke, they would really cry and embarrass themselves. Over there, Aunt Fat and Luo Gangshun were not much better. The green leather train whistled and went away. Looking at the waving little hands outside the window, Zhao Yulan and Fat Aunt couldn't bear it anymore, hugged each other and cried loudly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to subscribe. Reward, your support is my biggest motivation.